Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aaron Shack Politics. Today, we're going to talk about Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, who was shot to death on Wednesday, December 4th, outside the New York Hilton Midtown in Manhattan, where the company was hosting an investor day. According to CBS News, Thompson, 50, was named CEO of UnitedHealthcare, UnitedHealth Group's insurance arm, in April of 2021. There's a bunch of detail here about his bio. Of course, Medicare, retiree coverage, community state programs, providing Medicaid and other types of coverage to millions of individuals. Most recent role as CEO of UnitedHealthcare. He was responsible for leading growth across the company's global employer, individual, specialty, and government benefits business. This is according to a 2021 company statement announcing his appointment. And they have statements here saying, his experience, relationships, and values make him well suited to help UnitedHealthcare improve how healthcare works for consumers, physicians, employers, governments, and our other partners, leading to continued and sustained long-term growth. That's a bunch of corpo CEO language, which we're going to just drastically debunk all of that into being just a bunch of crazy falsehoods and corpo speak here. So yeah, you can see CBS News has more about this, but we're going to dive in a little deeper into, why could this happen to such a wonderful person that is a beacon of society here? Well, it actually turns out that the Hollywood Firefighters Pension sues UnitedHealth execs, including the slain CEO, alleging insider trading. So yeah, of course, you knew it. CEOs, of course, always being seemingly being tied to insider trading. He was accused of dumping stock prior to a Department of Justice antitrust investigation into the company, along with two other UnitedHealth Group executives. So this lawsuit alleges that Thompson, who was slain in New York, as well as two other company executives, were involved in insider trading in 2023. UnitedHealth's chairman, Stephen Hemsley, and UnitedHealth Group CEO, Andrew Whitty. The suit alleges executives sold over 120 million of UnitedHealth stock despite knowledge of an active Justice Department antitrust investigation into the company that they did not disclose to investors or the public. The DOJ's antitrust case against UnitedHealth stemmed from the company's January 6, 2021 announcement of its intent to acquire healthcare technology from Change Healthcare. And then the Firefighters Pension Fund, which was established for current and retired firefighters in the city of Hollywood, Florida. The fund, which manages over $300 million in assets for its beneficiaries, purchased UnitedHealth common stock at artificially inflated prices and suffered damages as a result of the violations of the federal securities laws, according to the lawsuit. So there you go. Pretty interesting stuff. It always seems to tie right back to them. So, named in the lawsuit for insider trading. Now, why does this matter? So, it's come to light due to the shooting, of course. And, of course, the shooter has been charged with second-degree murder of Thompson. But also, UnitedHealth affiliate Optum acquired Change after its first pass claims editing business and electronic data interchange clearinghouse that does business with numerous providers and payers. When Change was hit by a ransomware attack in February, it affected claims pallets for numerous hospitals and health systems. Yikes. So Change has access to a significant amount of customer-sensitive information, or CSI for short, and claims data, the lawsuit said. So it's just interesting how all these things interconnect and pile up into a larger issue. The health insurance industry sees hate in the wake of CEO's killing. This is from CNN. CNN is kind of trying to tell you that, like, no, the CEO's a good guy. Like, we should be mourning him. We should be really concerned about him and his family and everything. Let's hear what CNN says about this.
UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in New York, and that massive manhunt is still underway for his killer in what police are calling a calculated and premeditated attack. In a new statement, the UnitedHealthcare Group says this, quote, "While our hearts are broken, we have been touched by the huge outpouring of kindness and support in the hours since this horrific crime."
We'll have more on that later.
But this killing has generated a very different reaction from some on the internet.
Absolutely.
Just take a look at some of these comments found under a CNN video about this story online.
Okay, so CNN's trying to shame the public here. Some people have said cause of death, lead poisoning. It's a premeditated condition, payout denied. This is really sick. This guy was a human being. Wait a second. No, he wasn't. Someone else said, sorry, my empathy is out of network. So it's obviously a lot of people that have been burned by the health insurance industry, which of us hasn't been? I mean, there's probably a very small amount of people that have actually had either perfect health or all of their coverage always 100% approved. But it's a risky business and a risky game. And, you know, to these executives, this is just a game. Denying coverage is where they win, where they save money, and they make money off of you because you're paying out to them.
These are just a few among dozens of hateful comments.
Yeah, and some of these have been pretty funny jokes. They're not hateful.
Saying, quote, sorry, my sympathy is out of network.
That's not hateful.
The New York Times writes this, quote, the dark
you may not like it.
The death of the 50-year-old insurance executive from Maple Grove,
you may not like it, but it's
highlighted the anger,
you know, the rest of us are laughing
over the state of healthcare
at
in
the
America,
disparity here,
where those with private insurance often find themselves in Kafkaesque tangles while seeking reimbursement for medical treatment and are often denied.
There you go.
And that frustration is something that doctors say they've seen from patients throughout their careers.
There you go.
I see people when they're at their lowest, when the system has failed them.
Yep.
And I'm frankly not surprised. They feel abandoned. They feel exploited. They feel lied to when it comes to the healthcare system, and especially insurances, because of the things you mentioned: denials, prior authorization, narrow networks, the cost of healthcare. It's been going on and bottling up for a long time.
So our panel's back. Annie Linsky, we're going to be clear here about the tragedy that is Mr. Thompson and his family, right? And set that aside. But what we do see in the wake of this is an outpouring of anger around the way people have been treated by these companies. Now, we're again going to be clear.
And you're just now understanding it. Mainstream media has no clue
at all. But this conversation has really exploded. I mean, my family's talking about it.
Absolutely, mine is too. I mean, of course, vigilante justice is not the answer to the problem. But what I should say is, and this incident and the reaction to it ought to be a wake-up call to this industry, which has, there have been many big, really good investigative pieces about UnitedHealthcare in particular, and the issues that their customers have in getting the health care that's promised, getting the responses promised. And if it's not it's not a wake-up call to the industry, it certainly will be to Congress, and they are going to have there will be.
Well, I would hope so.
In a CNN story that was just published about this, they note that a Facebook post that was put up by UnitedHealth Group expressing sadness about the CEO's death, it received 62,000 reactions. 57,000 of them were laughing emojis.
Yeah. I mean, that's sad.
We're going to look at that in a moment.
I mean, and you're right. Most of these healthcare issues are life or death. And I have a sick dad home in Louisiana, and we go to the doctor all the time, and sometimes we get denied for things. Yeah. And it doesn't feel good, And so I think people have a personal issue with the way their healthcare has been administered. And I think, to your point, Annie, over the next few weeks, few months, we're going to have a conversation about this. If Congress has to take action, I think they will have to, but we hope that these private companies can come to the table and be a little bit more consistent in the way they administer healthcare. I think that would be helpful.
UnitedHealthcare has already been the focal point of ire for Congress because it's vertically integrated. They're buying up doctors' offices. They own the largest PBM, which controls the price of prescription drugs in the country. They're the most aggressive on denying claims. I think UnitedHealthcare will get more scrutiny.
And of course, we don't know the motivation yet of this.
We definitely don't know the motivation. That's crazy. That is the most tone-deaf answer you could possibly have to this right now. So diving deeper into this, a shell casing recovered from 2 of the bullets on the scene. The shooting had the words "depose" and "delay" written on them. And that's actually similar to the title of a book that's critical of the broader insurance industry, a book titled Delay, Deny, and Defend. I have that right. Okay. No, I don't. Yeah, titled Delay, Deny, and Defend. So now some people have looked at So obviously social media users have begun posting about their frustrations with UnitedHealthcare and other insurance companies, and I thought I would share some of that with you here. This is also from CNN. UnitedHealthcare denied my surgery 2 days before it was scheduled. I was in the hospital finance office in tears when I was supposed to be in the hospital doing pre-op stuff. One user wrote in an X post that received more than 70,000 likes. My mother was flying out to see me. My surgeon spent a day and a half pleading my case to United when she probably should have been taking care of her other patients, she added, before saying the surgery ended up going ahead, but calling the process torture. My breast cancer surgery was denied by a different insurance company, another ex-user posted. Breast cancer, she asked me. Well, is it an emergency? I don't know. It's cancer. What do you think? I had to appeal, and luckily it went through. Evil to do that to people, she said. Obviously, there's other stories on this where people have said that this is tragic and tragic for the family, but it's also brought up bigger issues. We have a bigger issue with insurance companies in general, who essentially it's their job to make money, not to actually pay for healthcare. So it's all incentivized to where these companies can get richer and richer and richer and find more advanced ways to decline coverage. Now, I said we were going to look at UnitedHealthcare's post here, but unfortunately, there's actually not all that much to look at. And gee, I wonder why that is. Well, that's because UnitedHealthcare, the UnitedHealth Group, rather, has actually limited who can comment on their posts. They've limited who can haha on their post, but you can still see that the most used emote is the haha face. So as I said earlier, the statement says, we are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him, except for everyone he declined healthcare coverage to by running his company the way he's running it. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. So what's the real thing here? There's been 8.7K shares. Let's dive deeper, okay? Because the internet is forever, I have posts here, and this is what we need to look at right here. So this is just a screenshot. I've actually heard that the numbers are higher than this, but 41.8K ha-has. I've actually heard that the ha-has have gotten above 50K. I just wasn't able to find a screenshot of it. And because UnitedHealth Group decided to censor this post, now we have to rely on screenshots online. So only 2K were like kind of sad face with one lone tear, 1.8K with the hugging heart emoji, 515 likes, and then obviously there's a certain amount of hearts being given as well. But yeah, the overwhelming out of all 46.8K reactions to this post of all the emojis being used here, the blatant majority is ha-has. And it's because people don't feel sorry for billionaire CEOs. They're taking advantage and murdering other people. Now, is it direct murdering, like shooting someone in the street? No. But when you deny someone's healthcare options, then they either don't go to the doctor, they don't get tests done, they don't seek treatment, they don't get the medication, the life-saving treatment that they may need, there's no preventative care being done, etc. So if you're denying this stuff, and of course with healthcare, the larger problem with healthcare being a for-profit industry where everything is so inflated and so expensive, drug prices are way more inflated than they need to be. America, we pay more for standard drugs like insulin in the United States than any other country in the world. Our treatments cost more money. Our doctor's visits cost more money. And the fact that we have to have insurance just so that we can go and do these things and even pay for this treatment because it's so overly inflated, it speaks to the issues that people are mad about. So let's go even deeper. From futurism.com, murdered insurance CEO had deployed an AI, an artificial intelligence, to automatically deny benefits for sick people. Like, this is insane. Like, this is dystopian stuff right here. Okay? This is absolutely insane. This is the stuff you would see in, like, crazy futuristic science fiction movies, that there would be an artificial intelligence choosing whether you should meet with a doctor or not and get the treatment that you need. So, last November, the estates of two former UHC patients filed a suit in Minnesota alleging that the insurer used an AI algorithm to deny and override claims to elderly patients that had been approved by their doctors. The algorithm in question, known as NH-Predict, allegedly had a 90% error rate. And according to families of the two deceased men who filed the suit, UHC knew it. So they're not just claiming like negligence, they're claiming like, no, you know that your AI is wrong and that it's pushing out these false claims and giving a negative approval rate here, and you have a 90% error rate of where normally these claims would be approved, but because we're using this AI and it's not even a good AI, or it's an AI that's good for the company but bad for your customer, because obviously no claims being approved means that you get to keep your money. You don't have to give that money to the patients, right? So it says, as the lawsuit made it through the courts, anger regarding the massive insurer's predilection towards denying claims has only grown, and speculation about the assassin's motives suggests he may have been among those upset with the UHC's coverage. So there you go. Now, things get a little trickier. As police have found this guy, but you know, some people have been analyzing various screenshots and CCTV videotapes of the shooter, and you know, in some images it doesn't really look like the same guy. It's very interesting. I mean, he's had his face covered. You know, some of the photos seem to show the eyebrows further apart, the eyebrows closer together. The facial structure doesn't entirely match. It's a very weird circumstance that we're finding ourselves in here. Now, on the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, which was inscribed on the bullets of the on the shell casings of the bullets, the words delay, deny, defend. The book has become an Amazon bestseller after the words that were carved into the bullets used to kill the UnitedHealthcare CEO. So basically everybody was like, hey, what's the big deal with this? What does this mean? Well, the bullet casings found on the scene of the Midtown murder refer to the 3 Ds of insurance: deny, delay, and defend, which is the title of a book critical of the insurance industry. So it's a 2010 book titled Delay, Deny, Defend: Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. So it's become an Amazon bestseller. And of course, those 3 words, deny, defend, and depose, were found on the shell casings. So, As of Wednesday, a week after the murder, Jay Feinman's 14-year-old book skyrocketed to the top of Amazon's insurance law category. The book is an expose of insurance injustice and a plan for consumers and lawmakers to fight back. It includes stories from dozens of Americans who were unfairly denied payment, as the description says. Now, I mean, what's interesting here is that, the shooter has become sort of a Robin Hood-esque figure of, fighting against injustice. Obviously, he's done a crime. He's killed someone, which, murder, assassination, these things are illegal, but people are praising him online. People are saying, free him, let him go. That's been overwhelmingly trending over on Twitter. That might be a little bit of a far reaction here, but I think people celebrating that killing, it's not necessarily that they're celebrating like the death of a person, because that's like morally wrong and whatnot, but it's more the death of like what this person represents. And we've talked about it on the show here already. We've already said what he's done, what he's guilty of, and is what he's done, does death fit the crime of insider trading and denying claims and building an infrastructure and promoting an infrastructure in the healthcare industry, and UnitedHealthcare being one of the most notable ones to deny claims? Because if we look at the claim denial rates by insurance companies, UnitedHealthcare is right here at 32%. And I've been with Blue Cross Blue Shield lately, 17%. That's not good either. These are not great averages, guys. Like, these are not great. But the fact that they rank the highest speaks to a lot of pain and a lot of upset people. And it makes a lot of sense. Now, Ben Shapiro made a video about, the left celebrating a targeted attack against CEOs. And I just wanted to pull up some of the comments section here because it's really interesting. Someone said, starting to realize your entire career is built off getting ordinary working folks to hate each other. I'm canceling my Daily Wire subscription. That's crazy. I got to throw a like on that one. Some people are saying, welcome to the consciousness. I'm so proud of you. Free your mind. Why someone else sarcastically said, no, Ben Shapiro would never do that. Why would you ever think that has been his shtick this entire time? Starting to realize, man, you guys are late. Finally, people are waking up. Someone else says, Ben, you're a millionaire. You aren't a true blue-collar conservative. You're a rich guy that tries to appeal to working-class Republicans. You don't understand what poor people go through. Someone else says, my brother-in-law died because they were never approved for the correct treatment for him. This is not a left versus right thing. And that's the thing. What we're seeing from mainstream media, what we're seeing from pundits like Ben Shapiro is that they're trying to paint it as a left versus right thing. That's like right stands with capitalism and big business and CEOs and making sure that they get their fair day of pay, and maybe if we just give them a little more money, that trickle-down economics will make its way down to the little guy. We give some CEOs some bonuses, and maybe that'll just trickle down to the guy working on the factory line. Well, actually, that's not how trickle-down economics works, because the only trickling down that's being done is CEOs pissing all over the little guys. So it's not rain, it's urine. Okay? So someone else says, the comment section is brutal. Surprised Ben hasn't taken it down or turned off comments because his agenda is getting royally exposed here. I'm actually quite surprised of that as well. Perfect out-of-touch response from a rich kid who never struggled. Yikes. This is a class issue. Stop trying to make it a left versus right issue. We as Americans are fed up with this divisiveness for every single thing that happens. Ben, you're rich. Enough. Stop. You do not experience the implications of what denial of health care means for poor Americans. You're alone on this, Ben. This just reaffirms your position stance against the working class. Yikes. It was never about Republican versus Democrats. It's the rich versus everyone else. He just showed his true colors. I'm a lefty, and I just wanted to extend an olive branch to everyone here on the right. I think we see how many times we actually agree on issues. Maybe not the solutions, but the problems. Yes, we want healthy families. We don't want to be stolen from. We want a fair society. Let's not let political ideology separate us. That is exactly what the higher-ups want. They want us fighting with each other and distracted. The uniting of the right and the left is the scariest thing that could happen to those in power and the government. I wish you and your families nothing but the best, health, wealth, and prosperity. Someone else says, my dad has voted Republican in every local, state, and federal election since I was born in the 1980s. I was with him when this news came out, and he said, about time, read the room, Ben. Yikes. So just a short clip from his show. Let's actually go over here and just pull it up briefly.
Of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And what exactly was that legacy? The claim denial rates by insurance companies. And of course, it's not just Taylor Lorenz. Socialist Nathan Robinson, a complete useless leech on the ass of society, posted himself, quote, live your life in such a way that people will be sad when you die. That was above a screen cap of a New York Times headline that said, torrent of hate for health insurance industry follows CEO's killing. That piece from the New York Times is all about people who apparently were perfectly fine with the murder of Brian Thompson on the streets of New York City. According to the New York Times, none of this stopped social media commentators from leaping to conclusions and showing a blatant lack of sympathy over the death of a man who is a husband and father of 2 children. Thoughts and deductibles to the family, read one comment underneath the video of the shooting posted online by CNN. Unfortunately, my condolences are out of network. A TikTok.
So you can see here that he's like trying to frame it as like leftists going crazy, and he's like citing leftist commentators. So let's go to the comment sections of this video, okay? So it says, right-winger here, you are wrong, Ben. This man denied 35% of claims. One of my dead parents' heart surgery we couldn't afford. He opted to die instead of give us the debt. I gotta like that comment, man, because my heart goes out to you. That's horrific and painful. Remember, guys, Ben has more in common with that CEO than he has with any of us. Don't say you're pro-life and then side with health insurance companies. Yikes. He was a husband and a father. So were the thousands of people that were denied health care on his watch. I just realized your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each other. For anyone watching, this is who Ben Shapiro always was. For anyone wondering, the video has 7.1K likes and 56K dislikes. And then this is the winning comment here. We got conservatives and liberals hugging each other in a comment section before GTA 6. Yikes. And that one's got over 15K likes. Someone else says, I'm not buying this left versus right stuff anymore, Ben. I want health care for my family. Not gonna lie, these comments are making me feel patriotic AF. My liberal heart has never in my life felt more connected to conservatives. People like you, Ben, made us believe it was always us versus them. But actually, it's like 99% of us versus the 1%. And you're in that 1%, buddy. According to Ben, I went from Trump voter to revolutionary leftist in the span of a month. Someone else says it's not left or right, it's not black or white, it's rich versus poor, your true colors are showing. Fact, both left and right are cheering. We don't care about your feelings. Someone else says, I'm Republican, white, voted for Trump, and I fully support Luigi, who they mean Luigi Mangione, the shooter. He says, you're out of touch, bro. Nice try. Yikes. Your business model requires us normal people to hate each other. So that's crazy. I don't think we should be like, if we're being honest here, we shouldn't really be like cheering on the death of anyone. I don't think that's actually what is happening here. I think people are happy about the message being sent about everyone just finally kind of waking up to this BS and us bringing about the discussion in society. It's not the death of the CEO that matters here. It's the entire ripple effect of everything that happens after that. It's the people protesting and marching in the streets. It's us calling our congressmen and senators and laws being passed to bring about some actual change, right? And I know that's where we get all hopeless because, like, our government doesn't do anything for us, right? You know, Democrats come up with bills, Republicans and even Democrats like Manchin and Sinema will stand in the way of any sort of bill being passed. So let's listen to Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He was on CNN talking about how healthcare insurance industries should actually learn to read the room at this point.
With Kevin O'Leary, he's an investor on the television show Shark Tank and the chairman of O'Leary Ventures. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. You said this outrage towards health insurance companies should be a major wake-up call for them. But if their incentives are to grow their profits, sometimes at the expense of people's health, do you trust them to meaningfully reform?
I think they have to. I mean, this is quite a backlash. This is the power of social media. Corporations saw this first in the Anheuser-Busch Bud Light case, where they lost $6 billion worth of market cap in 6 weeks. They'd never seen that before. This is occurring because people are frustrated with the appeal process in all health insurance. And so what the executives have to do with UnitedHealth and frankly the whole industry is appeal to reality and say, look, it's on us now. We understand you're unhappy. I mean, this murder, this assassination is horrific. There's nothing good to be said about that, and there's lots of problems with it. But at the end of the day, what it's leading to is the frustration of the users of healthcare, and everybody's affected by healthcare.
Yep.
They should be coming out now saying, look, we get it. We have families too. We're people. We have children. We care about what you think about, and we're going to automate this process and make it better or do whatever they have to.
Automation's not the right idea.
It's not a delay situation. And if you have a valid claim, you get paid out. That's what insurance is supposed to do. But putting a fence around headquarters, hiring more security guards, that's all bad imagery, Wolf. Yeah. It's all bad, and it's not the right answer.
As you probably know, a Kaiser Family Foundation survey found that about 1 in 5 insured adults dealt with healthcare claims being denied last year. People are sharing stories online of their claims being denied for surgeries, cancer treatments, and major health issues. What do you say to them?
Sounds like it's news to Wolf as well.
Reasons to deny, but if it's set up so that you just can't appeal it in a way that is cost effective because you can't afford to hire a lawyer, particularly in an expensive surgery, it doesn't matter. At this point, social media is now the jury, and it doesn't like what it sees. So if you're an executive, you know, in interim management, UnitedHealthcare or any other health company, you got to read the room, Wolf. You got to read the room and realize right now that the public is turning against you. They are your customers, and they don't like it. Now, this poor man lost his life, horrific. But if anything good is going to come of this, it's going to be policy change, because you've basically got people lighting up their torches, just like in the Frankenstein story, and going to the castle, and they're going to burn it down. And you gotta hear that. So if you're an executive saying, get me more security guards, wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
Wrong. If you don't understand what you have to do now to get in front of this thing and say, look, it's on us. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. And we're people too. We'll solve this problem. Here's how we're going to do it. This goes back to the Tylenol case. You've got to get in front of it. And so far, I've seen no reaction. It's a bad thing, Wolf. Bad. So if you're out there and you're an executive, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
There you go.